Imagine never being able to eat a bite of food, never being able to blend into a crowd, never fitting in.
5 years no more.
Now Ramon is risking his life for the chance to change his face and his future.
Ramon Aguiar was born with a condition that's made it impossible for him to eat normally for his entire life.
Several months ago, he decided to undergo the first of 3 risky surgeries that could change that and so much more. Our medical expert, Dr. Frank McGeorge, takes us on Ramon's incredible journey.
It's taken Ramon's family years to find a group of surgeons willing and able to take care of his case. A team here at Beaumont Hospital offered them hope. And in January, Ramon underwent the first of 3 major surgeries. It was a leap of faith, 16 years in the making. Ramon Aguilar and his twin brother Victor were born December 9th, 1995.
Victor came out and they whisked him away. I heard him cry. And when Ramon was born, it was kind of quiet. Everybody in the room got kind of somber.
His family learned Ramon had a rare birth defect called Goldenhar syndrome. It can cause several problems, including deformities on one side of the face.
Cleft lip, cleft palate, some have heart disease, some have facial malformations.
Doctors don't know what causes Goldenhar syndrome. Ramon's fraternal twin is not affected. Ramon would spend 4 months in the hospital. He needed a tracheotomy to help him breathe and a tube in his stomach to eat.
He's never eaten any kind of food by mouth.
He survived heart failure when he was just 3 years old and more than 50 surgeries. Now 16, Ramon has one wish.
5 years no more.
I know that he wants to be like every other kid, and not being able to play sports and not do a lot of stuff that his brother gets to do is kind of hard sometimes. Knowing that you're different, that's hard in itself.
Ramon is willing to risk 3 more surgeries for a shot at a more normal life.
His orbit on the right side is smaller and lower, approximately 1 centimeter compared to the left.
Dr. Kongkrit Chaiyasate is one of 3 surgeons at Beaumont Hospital who will work together to reconstruct Ramon's right eye socket to make it symmetrical with the left. They'll build him a right cheekbone, which he's missing, and reconstruct his jaw to allow him to chew.
The goal is to improve his look, but the risk could be death or brain damage. So it's a risky decision for both sides, parents and doctor.
We're about 1/3 into Ramon's first reconstructive surgery, working on his jaw and right eye socket. While the craniofacial surgeon remodels a piece of skull here, more surgeons are working on other areas there. It's all carefully choreographed. A wrong move could leave Ramon blind or brain damaged, but everything goes according to the plan.
I'm really excited to see how good this turns out to be.
Good to see you.
3 weeks after surgery, Ramon is on the road to recovery. His face is already more symmetrical, but his mom says the biggest change is in his personality.
He laughs so much more than he used to. And I think it's all because he can see the change in himself, too.
Ramon made it through the first surgery, but he is about to go through now another life-threatening challenge.
Plus, what's it like learning to eat as a teenager? Can you imagine? Well, we'll see what foods Ramon really likes to try first, what he thinks about the whole eating thing so far. Ramon's journey continues next on Faces of Change.
Decision 2012 coverage.
He's a local teenager willing to risk everything for a chance at a normal life.
The other day he was saying, I'm more determined than now that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for myself and not for anybody else.
Think about it. After making it through the first of 3 major surgeries, Ramon is finally taking his first bites of solid food. A strange situation when you're 16.
But as he prepares for his second surgery, he's about to face another challenge and a disappointing delay. Our medical expert, Dr. Frank McGeorge, has the rest of Ramon's story.
It's a sight Ramon's mom, Angie, has waited 16 years to see, her son eating real food.
They had him start out small. They had him chew Cheerios and graham crackers, stuff like that, but he hasn't liked anything that he's tried.
After surviving on liquids and supplements for his entire life, learning to eat has been a frustrating experience.
food and texture we learn when we were a baby, and we learn what like, what not to like. Ramon has to relearn the whole thing, the whole process of texture, chewing.
Ramon's favorites so far?
Mashed potatoes, soups. He likes different kinds of soups.
He was scheduled to have his second facial surgery in June, but suffered a serious setback.
His pacemaker died. We had to replace that, and they actually have to move it. It was located right under his rib. They had to move it into his shoulder.
Ramon developed an infection and needed several weeks of IV antibiotics to recover.
He was actually pretty upset because it kind of interrupted, typical teenager, it interrupted his summer. Didn't get to do very much because he was kind of attached to that IV all summer long.
The infection also delayed his second surgery until the end of September. Now that it's finally here, Ramon is anxious.
A couple days ago, he was a little afraid, and he was like, I'm afraid I'll go to sleep and not wake up. And I said, that'll never happen. And I know that it's very scary, and I know that it's hard for you, but whenever you want to stop, I've always told you, you can. And he was like, no, I'm almost there.
In the operating room at Beaumont, surgeons rebuild Ramon's nose and position metal devices called distractors, which will be used to slowly reposition his jaw and chin. A special 3D model of Ramon's skull serves as a guide.
The distractor will slowly pull together apart, and will stretch the soft tissue as well. So you expand not only bone but also the soft tissue.
Because of his jaw not growing, his chin is actually more to the side than it is centered. So the distractors will help to center that, and after that to pull his jaw out, down and out. So he'll actually have a chin and more of a profile.
Ramon's surgeons say it's a privilege to be part of his transformation.
I'm just happy that I can help him get more confident, be productive for our society, and go back to his life and enjoy his life and his family. That's why I become a doctor.
For Ramon's family, each surgery carries him one step closer.
He thinks to himself, I'll almost look normal like everybody else. And I'll almost look like my brothers or my sister.
I don't think anyone wants to be looking different. Everyone wants to try to look the same, try to be normal. And I know he does. He wants to, and I want him to. I've seen people make fun of him. Now hopefully he's going to be able to look normal.
Home from hospital, Ramon is making the best of living with the distractors. His mom uses a special tool to turn the screws each morning, advancing his jaw a fraction further each time. He won't admit it hurts, preferring to focus on the future instead.
I think it's more the excitement of wanting to get this over with already. He's ready. He's waited a long time. He's ready.
Now, the metal distractors will stay in place for 2 to 3 months. Then Ramon will need some time to heal. In a few months, though, he'll be back here for the final surgeries to complete his transformation, and we'll continue to follow his progress. From Royal Oak, I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Back.
All right, thank you, Doctor. We're going to pray for him every step of the way. In spite of everything he's been through, Ramon is a typical teen at heart with his cell phone never out of reach.
Also learning to drive now and saving up, in fact, to buy his first car. What a story.
Go, Ramon. Still ahead on Dateline Detroit, making a life